Doug Marrone, the Jaguars head coach, came out and said the other day he wants Blake Bortles to have 0 turnovers this year. That is what Doug Marrone, the Jaguars head coach, said. He said, I want my quarterback, Blake Bortles, to have 0 turnovers. Now, I don't really know that Doug Marrone was serious, and I don't know that he was trying to be completely literal. I think he was making a blanket statement about how, you never want one of your players to have turnovers. Doug Marrone said that's often why teams lose. If they have turnovers, that's why teams lose football games. However, I would still say Doug Marrone saying, I want my quarterback to have 0 turnovers, that is an unhelpful mindset. You don't want to say that. You're being unrealistic. Look, I have been really, really hard on Blake Bortles. I expect more from Blake Bortles. If he doesn't show more, the Jaguars are not going to win a lot this year. But nobody, whether you like Blake Bortles, whether you believe in him, doesn't matter. Nobody should have the goal for Blake Bortles. Nobody should say Blake Bortles' goal is to have 0 turnovers. It's unrealistic. It's not going to happen. Nobody's perfect. If your goal is to be perfect, you will fail every single time. It's unrealistic. All you're asking for is heartbreak. You got to accept reality. You're going to screw up. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to be wrong sometimes. You're going to have turnovers. Accept it. Do your best and move on. You have to be willing to fail. And sometimes on Strong Opinion Sports, in fact, often I say stupid stuff. I think I say smart stuff more than I say stupid stuff. But sometimes I take a big swing and I miss. And it's embarrassing. The next day I have to own up to it. Yeah, what I said was stupid. I don't know. I make a prediction that's wrong sometimes. I do it. I make mistakes. I say the wrong stat. I say the wrong name. I make mistakes all the time. It happens. But I can't let my fear of screwing up cripple me. I can't sit here. If I was always trying to be perfect and never willing to make a mistake on this show, here's what the show would sound like. Oh yeah, that's because I'm too afraid to talk. Too afraid to take a risk. It happens. You can't let your fear of failure cripple you from making mistakes. Blake Bortles throwing 0 interceptions. Blake Bortles having 0 turnovers. That's an unrealistic goal. It's completely unreasonable. Here's a realistic goal for Blake Bortles. This is what I want from Blake Bortles this year. I want to quantify it. I want to give you an actual statistical value I want from Blake Bortles. Because Blake Bortles must improve if the Jaguars want to make it back to the playoffs. He needs to play at a higher level. Remember, the Jaguars division, the AFC South, is now better. Deshaun Watson's coming back from an injury. Andrew Luck is coming back from an injury. The Tennessee Titans made the playoffs last year. I think they're a little bit better. Better coach, better offense. I want to see Blake Bortles throw 30 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. Because he's going to throw interceptions. He's going to have turnovers. Blake Bortles just needs to succeed at a higher rate than he fails. At about twice as much. He needs to have a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. Last year, Blake Bortles threw 21 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. He had a 60% completion percentage. Now, last year in 2017, Kirk Cousins, the former Redskins quarterback, Kirk Cousins had 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and a 64% completion percentage. And this is consistently what Kirk Cousins does. Kirk Cousins, 2 years ago, 2016, 25 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, a 65% completion percentage. All I want from Blake Bortles this year, I'm not asking for him to be Tom Brady. All I want from Blake Bortles, can you play as well as Kirk Cousins? Can you play at the same level Kirk Cousins does? I'm not asking for too much. He doesn't need to be the reincarnation of Peyton Manning. I just want Blake Bortles to play as well as Kirk Cousins has the last 2 years. That's all I want. A small increase. Go from 21 touchdowns to 28, 27. Go from a 60% completion percentage to 65. A small increase. Now, Blake Bortles is entering year 5 in the NFL. Traditionally, in the history of the NFL, historically, quarterbacks have their biggest statistical jump in year 4 or year 5. This is a completely reasonable expectation for Blake Bortles. For him to go from 60% completion percentage to 65. You go from 21 touchdowns to 28, 29, maybe 30. It's now or never for Blake Bortles. If Blake Bortles doesn't pop in year 5, he's not going to do it. It's time. It's now or never for Blake Bortles. I think it's a reasonable expectation for him to play like Kirk Cousins did last year. It's not too much. Not too much to ask. I want a small increase from Blake Bortles. If Blake Bortles can give me that, 30 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, a 65% completion percentage. If Blake Bortles does that, the Jaguars will make the playoffs again. That's my prediction. I'm really curious to see what happens. Not asking for too much for Blake Bortles. It's year 5. He needs to pop. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Zach Schaumler. This is my show, Strong Opinion Sports. It's my pride and joy. I'm very proud of it. If you're new to Strong Opinion Sports, you can subscribe to it on iTunes, SoundCloud, on YouTube. You can find the full entire hour-long podcast on YouTube, or you can find more shorter breakout videos like the one you just watched. And if you like what I had to say, maybe you hate what I had to say, share this with your friends. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow Strong Opinion Sports by telling your friends about the show. My name is Zach Schaumler. Have a great day.